Welcome to Rob Schmitt Tonight. Today, former President Trump reminded Americans what a competent presidential candidate looks like. Walking into the Economic Club of New York here in Midtown Manhattan, an audience of heavy hitters laying out a complex economic plan and a vision for a better American economy that benefits every single person in it. A plan that punishes offshoring, greatly incentivizes an America First business model, lowers taxes, and helps reduce future deficits by clawing back outlandish spending and ending the enormous black hole that is government waste in this country. The audience, filled with East Coast politically correct New York City capitalists, was not exactly Trump's wheelhouse, to be honest, but as a matter of fact, they ate up Trump's 80-minute speech. They absolutely loved it. Here's some of it.
We have more liquid gold under our feet than any other country, including Russia and Saudi Arabia. We'll be using it. My plan will terminate the Green New Deal, a $10 trillion scam that we waste. Rescind all unspent funds under the misnamed Inflation Reduction Act. We will eliminate a minimum of 10 old regulations for every one new regulation. I will create a Government Efficiency Commission tasked with conducting a complete financial and performance audit of the entire federal government. The fifth pillar of my plan is to make the Trump tax cuts permanent. We will have no tax on tips, and also no tax on Social Security benefits. A reduction in the corporate tax rate from 21% to 15% solely for companies that make their product in America.
We wanted to leave that long for you so that you can hear just how complex these ideas are and just how hard at least one team is working to win your vote, and to give a vision for what they want to do with this country if you vote for them. One team is doing that. Trump will declare a national emergency to revive our energy supply, decimated by the policies of Biden-Harris and their almost treasonous pillaging of our strategic reserves as a Band-Aid for their horrific energy policies. Trump intends to claw back unused billions from the Inflation Reduction Act, also known as the Inflation Production Act, the most deceitfully named law in American history, wasting hundreds of billions on green energy kickbacks to big Democrat donors and rampantly increasing inflation while claiming that it does exactly the opposite. And believe it or not, just this afternoon, Joe Biden, in a rare speech these days, admitted what a scam the Inflation Reduction Act truly was. Take a listen to this.
My investments, through my investments, the most significant climate change law ever. And by the way, it is a $369 billion bill. It's called the, we should have named it what it was, but at any rate.
We should have named it what it was, but then we couldn't have gotten it passed and given all that money away to all of our donors. That's what he meant to say. Back to Trump's speech today, the president intends to assail needless regulations in this country. Now 10 regulations will be killed for every single one regulation that is created. He wants to slash taxes even further. And one of his best ideas yet, accountability, and this is actually an idea that Elon Musk came up with, accountability for a government that wastes as much as half of the tremendous wealth that we provide to it. Trump wants Elon Musk to head a government efficiency commission.
The first order of business, this commission will develop an action plan to totally eliminate fraud and improper payments within 6 months. This will save trillions of dollars, trillions. It's massive.
So this has the potential to be one of the best decisions that we have ever made for our government. We send about $5 trillion a year to Washington, a number so big it would make your head explode. A modest 2023 estimate has government waste at nearly $1 trillion of the $5 that we sent. Politicians have told me they think the number could be closer to half of the government of the money that you send to the government gets wasted. We've lost more than $2 trillion to simple payment errors over the last 20 years. $2 trillion of just people getting money they didn't deserve to get from the government. Oversight reports claim billions more are being wasted every year on what are called duplicative programs. So a prime example of that is the Rural Electrification Administration. This is just one of many examples of this. This is government that was created nearly 100 years ago, bringing electricity to rural communities. By 1981, the job was done, 99% completed. But you all know that government can't actually get smaller, so of course the program kept its funding and reimagined itself to bring other utilities to rural areas, all the while growing larger, gaining more and more funding year over year. Today, it still exists. Its job, with its billions in funding, is bringing internet access to rural areas. So they're going to bring everything they can possibly bring to rural areas. This thing will never end. So they're bringing internet access. That's interesting that we already have a program that does that. And it begs the question, why then did Joe Biden just a couple years ago give Kamala Harris $100 billion of your dollars to bring internet access to rural areas when we already have an entire government program that does that? Probably because the White House had no clue that this program already existed. That's how frickin' big the government is, as they carelessly throw around $100 billion of your money while demanding Americans pay their fair share and hiring 80,000 IRS agents to pry into every corner of your life to steal more from your piggy bank. If you watched Trump's speech today, it wasn't classically conservative or liberal. His brand, as he has said so many times, is common sense. It is a blend of ideas that make a country stronger. Lower taxes, and the lowest for companies that resist the temptation to make their products on the cheap with slave labor in places like China. Globalist capitalists, like a lot of the people in the room, don't necessarily like ideas like that too much. They also don't like tariffs, which Trump is using to protect our labor force and the wages of the people that live in this country. But just because some globalist capitalists don't like these ideas doesn't make them bad. Just because New Yorkers don't like these ideas doesn't make them bad. This is the only way we can have both a strong and well-paid working class and also stay competitive with other countries. It's just the way it works. And on the topic of staying strong, Trump also highlighted another major vulnerability that he intends to eliminate: the fact that our national security is far too globalist in nature.
We will require all essential materials for our national security to be produced here in the United States, creating millions and millions of new manufacturing jobs. You know, when we built the F-35, we have the wings built in one country. We have the tail rudders built in another country. We have the seats built in another country. We have the electronics built in 7 different countries. What the hell would we do if there's a war?